I think my favorite prank in minor league baseball, and there's been plenty of them, was probably the charting fly balls incident back in Erie. I think the year was '99 or 2000. We had a young man who was from Los Angeles, nicknamed Hollywood, known for jumping into anything that was big league related, but not really doing much in the way of helping or providing much assistance in other areas. And Cale Beers, who was a bit of a card and an edgy guy, is now the radio guy for LaSalle Athletics at LaSalle University, set him up, and he took it hook, line, and sinker.
We saw the intern showing up for work that day, and we immediately got into what we pretended to be was an in-depth conversation over a situation we had. And so he walked in our discussion as I was explaining to my buddy Steve that we didn't have enough to do this task that the parent club, the Anaheim Angels, were requiring of us. And we argued back and forth about who there was to be to do it. The intern was so arrogant and so full of himself that it immediately piqued his interest. And so, we did the whole hard sell. We brushed him off, told him it was above his head. It was more important than that. And then eventually we told him that since we were a first-year affiliate of the Anaheim Angels, we were in a little bit of a bind because we hadn't had our park site rated yet. So the intern was in. He was all in. He wanted involved. He wanted to do it. And we really couldn't talk him out of it. So we explained that optimally we would send him up during a day game, during a night game, during a day game during the rain, during a night game during the rain, and then if we had like a 4 o'clock game. But we also couldn't afford to have him in the stand for 9 innings. We were just going to have to do it a piece at a time, 3 innings here, 3 innings there. So he agreed to it immediately, and it was on. So I showed him the chart. I explained to him, it was kind of sneaked up on us, and he's really helping us out. Sure enough, at the end of the second or third inning or whatever it was, we were in commercial break, and Steve and I had slid our windows open. We were talking to each other. We were saying, yeah, this is it. This is the inning. And sure enough, there he goes, clipboard in hand, strutting out across the walkway in left field, and he was on his way, and we were stunned. We were stunned that we were pulling this off. When the first fly ball went up that inning, nobody listening to the broadcast in Reading or Erie would know what happened because Steve and I don't know what happened to that ball because we were doubled over in laughter. And that was it. He charted a fly ball, and you think that would be good enough, but it was really only the beginning. The outfielders knew what was going on, and when that inning ended, right fielder by the name of Mike Colangelo came running out, and he yelled up to the intern in the box and in the camera plateau and said, "Hey, are you sight rating this?" And he said, yeah, I'm doing it. And Mike said, "It's about time." So, and that occurred, and Mike ran over and looked up and yelled up to the intern again and said, "Hey, what'd you get on that last fly ball?" So the intern was a little bit humble at this point, and he sheepishly said, I had it 72%. And Mike looked up at the sky as if to ponder it. And he said, yeah, I'd say 71, 70. So now the intern was emboldened because not only was he doing a good job, he thought he had it licked. He thought he was an expert on the job. So the next time they came running out to the field, he was yelling down to the outfielders and asking them what the visibility was on the last fly ball. And he bragged, I got it. And Steve now played the role of the person the intern had to report to from Anaheim. And so he started calling in and leaving voicemails on the intern's voicemail saying, hey, great job. You're doing a great job. This is what we need. And now Jim Sweeney, or AKA Steve Degler, calls and leaves a voicemail and says, hey, you're doing a great job, but, we're going to need you to go up there with eye black on and chart fly balls in sunny conditions. And he made a little note on his chart that he had eye black on this night. And then Jim Sweeney called again and said, you did a great job. We're going to need you to do it with flip downs. And got some gargoyle flip downs and crawled up to the perch. And when a fly ball went up, he flipped down the flip downs and did a chart on that. And all the time, every night, he was faxing it back to Reading. Word came down, we should finally let him know what's going on. The players wanted to be the ones that did it. So I told him, I said, hey, the guys want to talk to you about your findings and what you've been doing. He's like, oh, and he got nervous. I told him that they wanted to meet him on the field after pitcher's fielding practice before a game one night. And just before he left the office to go out, I said, hey, hold on, give me all those charts. And I got him, and I photocopied every single one of them. And he took his charts out, and he explained them, and the guys were very attentive, and they were asking questions and asking for verify this or verify that. And eventually Fausto says, oh, so how long have you been working on this? And the guy said, I don't know, month and a half. I said, really? So this is your work, right? He said, yeah. He goes, here's what we think of your work. He threw him down, sprayed some lighter fluid on it, and threw a match on it and burned him right there on the warning track. And everybody started laughing and joking and broke up, and he looked stunned a little bit. His eyes widened. He stared over and he said, that's all right. Kale made copies. And so then here I am telling him that what he's been doing every home game for 3 innings for the last month and a half of the season has been a scam. But, he giggled eventually, and he was a lot more, he had a lot more humility the rest of the season after that.
That's probably the one I've seen taken to the extreme, and the one we had the most fun with in my 20 years of baseball.